Okay, got us back on. Okay. Hello, and welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on each volume. We keep the discussion spoiler free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering the second part of Volume 55, A Ray of Hope, which covers chapters 538 through 541. My name is Joel, and I'll be your host. And joining me today, we have Evan. Yeah, so it's just gonna be us two. Cody and Sean are currently starting their way back up to level two, while Evan and I are down here in Newcombo Land. We're gonna chill out here for a little bit. We'll keep the party going. But yeah, so I'm excited to finish off this volume. We left off in a pretty exciting place. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about you. Yep. Okay, so let's just get a quick recap for where we left off. Luffy and his jail pals made it to level 4, but were stopped by Magellan. The others retreated, but Luffy stood his ground to face Magellan. Luffy was unable to defeat the warden, resulting in him being covered in poisons that would kill him within 24 hours. He was brought to level 5, where he would die. Bon Clay outsmarted Hannibal, then took his form. He escorted Buggy and Mr. 3 down to level 5 in hopes of finding Luffy. Eventually, Bon Clay did and freed Luffy from his cell, and concluded that the only thing that could save his friend now would be the miracle worker Eva. They were surrounded by wolves and both passed out from the fight. They were found by Inazuma, who brought them both to New Land, a secret paradise in the Impel Down. Here, Bon Clay awoke to find this is where Ivankov had been. Ivankov was moved by Luffy's compassion for his friend and has already begun treating him for Magellan's poisons. He has already been in treatment for 10 hours, but unfortunately will still need another 2 more days. It'll be too late to save Ace. If Luffy survives, that is. Yeah, so things weren't looking good for Luffy, and he's kind of in a pickle here. Oh, we haven't gotten into. Oh wait, yeah, I don't think we haven't really gotten to the chapter yet. Jump the gun. All right, let's start over from the top. No, just kidding. Yeah. Okay, so let's jump right into the first chapter for the episode. Chapter 538, level 5.5, New Combo Land. Ivankov had warned Luffy that if he undergoes the treatment, it will take 10 years off his lifespan, and his chances of survival are already extremely unlikely. Luffy accepted. Ivankov injected Luffy with hormones that would tear his body apart and rebuild it. Ivankov tells Bon Clay that all that can be done to help has been done, and tells him more about New Combo Land. This section between levels 5 and 6 of the prison was dug out by a former prisoner with a digging devil fruit. Ivankov explains that level 6 is where the most dangerous prisoners are kept, including former head jailer Shiryu, Crocodile, Jinbei, and Ace. Ivankov tells Bon Clay to get some rest, but he refuses and decides to cheer on Luffy during his recovery. Several hours pass until Luffy stops screaming. Blood starts to pour out from under the door. It seems Luffy did not make it. To everyone's shock, Luffy starts banging on the door, shouting for food. Yeah. Yeah, not even death could take that away from him. Yeah. So, what'd you think of Luffy's reaction to undergoing this treatment? Yeah, he's kinda like a husk. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. It's like you can die now or you can die 10 years, earlier than, normal. Yeah. Yeah, this is just, like, taking it to, like, another level. Um, yeah, because, like, we knew that they were, like, friends with each other and, like, Bon Clay put himself on the line last time in Alabasta, but now, like, he shows, like, his true colors here as well to shows, like, he, like, could have abandoned Luffy, Mr. 3 or Buggy at any time, but he really stuck through Luffy and, really was seeking a way to help him. Like, he was going crazy earlier, like, trying to find, like, different, like, options, like, "Oh, there's gotta be, like, an antidote." Then, like, when we found out, like, Ivankov is probably the only real option that he had, so it was, like, a miracle, but, like, he wasn't letting, like, that slim chance be, like, a deterrent. He was determined to find a way to help Luffy and, dragged him through level 5. And yeah, even like throughout all this, he never like gave up on Luffy and kept cheering him on. And then everybody else started cheering too. So he kind of rallied everybody together to like cheer him on. Um, yeah, we get some interesting details too as well because while we're waiting for Luffy to recover, because he was supposed to be in there for another like 2 days. So Luffy was like way ahead of schedule. Um, but there was some time here where they were waiting for the recovery to finish. But Ivankov went over some information with Bon Clay, kind of like a little bit more like about the workings of New Kama Land and how they operate, and things like how they like steal food from like the prison. They have like ways in and out of the prison. They even have like transponder snails keep an eye on things. So yeah, I think it's just kind of fun to have kind of some of the logistics kind of laid out here. Yeah. 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 My best guess is they converted the transponder snails. Because Emperio probably, Ivankov probably used like the hormones to like, transform. Because we do see like they have like the eyelashes and like the lipstick and like the mustache, but yeah, I think like to make them like cooperate with them, uh, probably use some like hormones because like, hormones are kind of just like like a catch-all in this kind of case. It's like, yeah, we could do a whole bunch of stuff with these hormones. Um, so yeah, it's just kind of like almost like a little hand wavy in certain ways, but you kind of just have to go with it. Yeah, it's kind of like in DC. Oh, no, it's kind of in DC where like sometimes like there's like certain things like hand wavy. It's just like, oh yeah, just like Speed Force, which is like how the Flash gets his powers. You just be like, how did that happen? Oh, Speed Force. Okay, say no more. And that you were saying? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's kinda a little bit like Lucci in a sense where it's just for the sense of, like, their own, like, violence for violence sake. So, like, it's not a matter of, like, punishment, it's a matter of, like, I'm just doing this because I enjoy it. So, yeah, he's just been kinda, like, using the prisoners as a way to kinda, you know, satisfy that feeling that he has. Um, but yeah, Magellan, like, kinda caught him as like, Um, yeah, like, we're not gonna, like, operate like that. We have, like, some standards here, dude, like but yeah, if you look at this picture, like, you can see, like, a whole bunch of bodies, like, across, like, the hallway. So, yeah, he kinda, like, cut down a ton of people. Yeah. Yeah. But apparently, he was also part of why they were such, like, a stronghold. So he did help keep things in line, but it seems like once he kinda got put in prison, that also made the prison a little weaker in a sense too. Because he was so powerful and formidable and strict, like, yeah, he kinda kept some of the prisoners in line, but yeah. Yeah, and then we also find out about level 6, which, Mr. 2 seems, surprised to hear about, like, he even know about level 6, but yeah, that's where, like, all, like, kinda like the biggest, threats are, which, I mentioned the summary, we had, a few names there, and that's where Ace is being held. So it's between, level 5 and, what's, like, underneath level 5.5, which is where they are right now. It's even further than level 5. I do think it's so funny how, Mr. 2 calls, Crocodile Zero Boy. 'Cause he's called Luffy, like, Straw Boy, but, yeah, Crocodile Zero Boy. Yeah, so Bonkov's kinda, like, trying to, dissuade, Bon Clay from doing anything at this point. He's like, "There's nothing you can do to help your friend. You to get some rest yourself." He should worry about himself, not trying to save somebody else right now. Like he's kind of like in his own predicament. So there's nothing that Luffy can do. But yeah, so Ivankov's just kind of like dismissing like what they're trying to do here. Just thinking like, all right, you guys are lucky to even get here. So kind of your blessings. But then like, Bon Clay is like, no, I'm not giving up. I'm gonna go cheer on Scrub Boy. You can do it. And he's just cheering for hours and hours. Um, but yeah, then we get that great moment where Luffy comes out after like we have like it's very ominous when we see like the screaming stops because he's been screaming nonstop during this whole time because his body was literally like tearing apart, which is you know it was pretty rough to see. Um, but yeah, so he stopped screaming and then like the blood starts pouring from under the door, and it's like you think he just died. And then you hear like the big slam, boom, boom, and the door starts like slamming, and then of course we get the moment where he screams for the food. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think from watching the anime, I feel like this felt longer than I was expecting going through the read through. Um, yeah, I just remember the anime. It felt like this was going on for a little while, but going through I mean, it's basically one chapter, so it's pretty quick. Um, but yeah, and then we get this moment at the end too, where Ivankov says like, "It's impossible. What's going on? It hasn't even been one full day yet." So even Ivankov is like, because Ivankov was saying like your chance of survival is like 2% at best, and you'll need at least 2 days. And I was like, "You did it in like less than 1 day. Like, how's it impossible that you did this? And now you did it like ahead of schedule?" Like, yeah. So Ivankov is also just completely like speechless. Yeah. The miracle worker is surprised by the miracle. Hmm. Yeah. So you got anything else on this one? Okay, let's move on to excuse me. Okay, let's move on to chapter 539, Imperio Energy Hormone. The members of New Comet Land start bringing in as much food as possible to feed Luffy. He takes in the food and announces that he's all better. Ivankov tells him he needs to rest, but Luffy is still determined to save Ace. Ivankov says he will remain here and is planning to make his escape once Dragon of the Revolutionary Army makes his move. You know, Luffy's dad. Ivankov is shocked to find out Dragon had a son. He realizes that if Ace is Luffy's brother, then Ace must be Dragon's son too. Change of plans. It's time to escape after all and save Ace. Luffy is too weakened to go on, so Ivankov agrees to inject him with hormones to restore his energy, though he will feel the side effects later. The Navy prepares to move Ace while Luffy and the newcomer show themselves as they burst through and pull down forces. Hmm. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely right. Yeah. Yeah, I love like well, like, there's, like, the giant, like, meat on bone. It's, like, being shoved into, like, the doorway. It's, like, being squeezed into the doorway because it's too big to fit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the food went to his stomach. Yeah, so then he, like, disperses the food, like, throughout his body, and now he's all muscular again. Yeah, and Neva says, "It's a miracle. It's more than a miracle." Yeah, and then, Bon Clay passes out. Yeah, so, Ivankov tells Luffy that, Bon Clay stood there this whole time and was cheering till his, throat was so sore that it bled, and, Luffy is thankful to Bon. He's like, "Wow, like, you did all that for me? Like, thank you." Hmm. Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, I wasted too much time, gotta keep going. By the way, can you take care of Bond for me?" He's so concerned about Bon Clay, which is great. But then, like, he falls over himself, so, like, he, like, can barely stand. It's like, "Who are you saving in this condition?" Like, yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. No, I think that's right. Well, because I think Ivankov, like, kinda picked up on it and made that conclusion. But that does seem to be true, and this kinda makes sense. I think it just kinda reaffirms what Ivankov already thought. Yeah, it is interesting because we do see a little bit more of Dragon because we don't really have, like, too many interactions with him. Like, the only time we've really seen him interact with people was back in Logtown when, he was confronting Poker, but that was, like, so brief. Yeah, yeah, and that was before we knew, like, who he was and, like, his connection to Luffy, like, or, like, his role in the world. Like, we didn't really know anything about him then. Right, your dad. Wait, your dad? But, yeah, it seems kinda like Ivankov's been, like, laying low until the Revolutionary Army makes their move, and then, like, once they make their move, Ivankov is like, "Alright, now we gotta mobilize." But they're just kinda waiting for that moment, where they can, like, come back out into the world. So, I mean, they're like, "Yeah, we can just leave, like, whenever we want," but, it just hasn't been the right time. Like, we have, like, a great thing going here, we're just gonna wait until we're needed. Um, but now, like, things are starting to seem a little bit more urgent because he's like, "Okay, so, I didn't realize that, like, Dragon even had kids, and now I'm meeting Dragon's kid." And, he realized, like, "Oh, Luffy, your brother's Ace? We gotta go save your brother. And we can't just let Dragon's kid get killed here." So, yeah, so things are now looking a lot different than they were before. So, he was now like, "We have a reason to to mobilize, like, our friends, need us, so I'm sure. Yeah, because this is world news, like, it was, like, in the newspapers, like, a lot of people knew, like, we even, like, saw, like, in Throw a Bark, the pirates who had the newspapers, like, they were aware of what was happening. So, like, yeah, this isn't, like, just only few people know about it, like, this is big news. It's very possible. But then Ivankov does say to Luffy, like, "Hey, you should probably not tell everybody, like, who your dad is." That's probably not, like, information you should just be sharing so easily. But yeah. So we do see why, Ivankov is even here in the first place, because of the, ties to the Revolutionary Army. Um, but yeah, they definitely seem like a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, so out of desperation, Ivankov's like, "Okay, so, like, you just went through, like, this crazy, like, ordeal. You almost died, but, yeah, we have to kinda get you back up on your feet so I can inject you these hormones and keep you going for a little bit. It's like, we give you, like, a 5-hour energy, but but you're gonna feel it later." That can't be right. I don't know what to believe anymore. Yeah, so it looks like he's got, like, a new, headpiece on. This one has, like, Anubis on it. Like, I don't think it was on the other one, was it? Yeah, because I think the one they had before is on the ground, but yeah, I don't think it had the Anubis on it. Have to double check that later. Yeah. It's like they use his chin for, like, the mold to make the hat. Yeah, so now it's like a change of pace where it's like instead of trying to, like, not get caught, they're like, "Alright, it's go time." So now they're just, like, fighting through everybody. They're just, like, running and, they're not being discreet. They're just, like, taking down everything in their path. And we even get to see, like, Vankov fight a little bit too with, like, the death wing and blasting, like, the wolves away and everything. Um, I don't know exactly the first time they mentioned it, but they've been referring to it. So it's where the Navy HQ is. So it's like the same place. So it's like the town where the Navy HQ is. Oh, that was where was he executed? It was Logtown. Yeah. So Marineford is essentially in the triangle with Enies Lobby, Impel Down, and Marine Ford slash Navy HQ. So those are the 3 points, where the gates of justice will connect. And then in the middle is like the whirlpool, so you can't just travel freely between them. Like when the gates of justice open, then you can pass through, and then the Navy has a way to get through. But most people don't have an access to get through that. I think so. Hmm. Yeah. So that's where Ace is to be brought. So anything else on that chapter? Okay. Let's move right along to chapter 540, level 6, Infinite Hell. To make their way down to level 6, sorry. They make their way down to level 6, but find Ace's cell is already empty. Jinbei tells them that they took Ace, but if they hurry, there's a chance they can catch up. Security of Impel Downs the security of Impel Down blocks the elevator and the stairs so they can't leave, then fills the chamber with gas. Inazuma uses the snip snip fruit to cut up the floors and seal off the gas from coming in. Ivankov says that they are too late to help Ace and to leave things to Whitebeard, but Luffy is determined to go to Navy headquarters. Crocodile wants to kill Whitebeard, so he offers to help him get out if they let him out of the cell. Ivankov reveals he has dirt on Crocodile to keep him in line, so they agree to let him out. Jinbei wants to help them save Ace and begs for them to let him out as well. With new recruits, the team is ready to break out of prison. Yeah, so this is pretty exciting. It's kind of like you have like the opening team with like the lesser like pirates. Yeah, you had like Buggy and and Mr. Three. It's like okay. But now you bring out the all stars and you have like, all right, now this is a squad. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so I think this is a cool development. That like Luffy's been having to work with like a lot of former enemies, but I feel like Crocodile is probably like the biggest one, especially with their hit where Crocodile literally almost killed Luffy like several times. So he knows that Crocodile is definitely a threat. But we also get this interesting little conversation here where Ivankov says, "I know like um, Croc Boy's secret, so we have to worry about him." Do you have any possible theories? I know Cody's not here to hype up your theory thoughts, but yeah. Okay. But like we talked about, like I the, not to confirm anything, but we did kind of say how Ivankov's hormones are just kind of like a catch-all. They could be like a whole bunch of different things, so they could kind of be used in whatever way Oda wants to kind of change people. Uh, but we don't know exactly what that means here. Yeah. Maybe he just had, like, a longer head before and, like, he just, like, "Here, let's just make your head s smaller." Yeah, Hogback was his doctor. Mm, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so essentially, they're able to turn their hands into, like, scissors. They're like these giant scissors, and they're able to, like, cut up things that can't normally be cut up. So we see, like, they go through and they cut up the brick floor and then pull them up, um, like, little, like, slips, and they're able to, like, go over, like, the gates that are causing, like, the poison gas to feed through, so they block off the poison from getting in. So there's pretty crazy, application of the devil fruit, I think. Yeah. Like, I think I can see that, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a very creative, like, devil fruit that, like, you don't think of that's, like, so unconventional that it's cool to see, like, that as a concept. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like an orangey orangey red type, yeah. Yeah, and the black and white, the red comes off as black, so it's hard to see that, yeah. And did you see, Ivankov's hair color? Yeah, it's like a blue purple. Yeah. 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 Yeah, so it's pretty hype. And then, we also get to team up with Jinbei, who's a warlord that wasn't an antagonist to Luffy previously. So it's, one of those rare cases where Luffy's first interaction with the warlord is, like, an ally. Oh, that guy? Okay. But that is pretty reassuring to have powerful allies on their side. Hmm. Yeah, it's also pretty rough because they already took Ace out of his cell, so they're a little bit too late. And then we see Magellan is like shoving Ace into the ground. So I don't know if like Ace is trying to like resist a little bit because he's worried about his brother. But Magellan's like, stop resisting. We gotta get you delivered. So yeah, don't make us suffer. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course it had to be true because it's Luffy. He would do this, right? Yeah. Yeah, and even like it seems like other people keep saying to throw in the towel. It's like, oh, sorry, this is as far as we go. Oh, this is as far as we go. Can't go from here. And Luffy's just like, no, we're gonna keep going. Like you have to go. If I have to go alone, I'm gonna go. Like, he's saying I gotta go to Navy headquarters, even after they told him just leave it alone. It's out of our hands now. Yep. Oh, and did we also go past where they reveal Ivankov's actual devil fruit as well? I'm not sure if it was the last chapter. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember if it was last chapter or not, but yeah, we do get the name for Ivankov's devil fruit. Yeah. So yeah, that hasn't been mentioned. Yeah. 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 just keep just keep away the sea prison cuffs. All right. So yeah, do you have anything else on this one? All right, cool. All right. So let's wrap up the volume with chapter 541, The Greatest Ever. The Impel Down forces arrive at level 6 to see Luffy's team has already escaped. Shiryu tells them he's willing to help. The real Hannibal has returned and orders the forces to gather back at level 4 to stop them from escaping. Luffy's team fights through level 4, where the guards are no match for them. Mr. 2 and Buggy have made it to. Sorry. Mr. 3 and Buggy have made it to level 2 and have been hiding in a wax box. With the commotion, Mr. 3 makes keys that they use to free the other prisoners in the name of Captain Buggy to cause a riot. Crocodile finds Mr. 1 and frees him as well. Luffy's team is unstoppable as they smash through the guards, ready to head for Marineford. Yeah, so we get another addition to the team as well. Yeah, because we had seen Mr. 1, Daz Bones, previously on level 4. So there's a small little moment here, but now we actually see that he's being recruited to join the jailbreak team too. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he looks kinda like a ghost, like, the way he's, like, floating and, kind like, his body is just kinda, like, forming, like, in, like it's kinda wavy as he's, using his powers to, like, disintegrate the door. Yeah, so he's definitely making this easier. Yeah, because his motives aren't exactly great, so at least he wasn't yeah, at least he wasn't you know, being secret about it, like, he's being upfront, like, "Yeah, like, I only wanna get out of here to kill Whitebeard, but, you know, I'll help you guys out for now." Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was kinda I think it's delayed thing, how, the samurai will do the thing where it's like they cut somebody and then, they wait, and then it's like they fall over, like, a second later. I think, Ryuma did that before too. It's like I think it's kinda like that effect where it's like he does, the punch and it's like they don't feel it right away, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, they go flying after. I think he Yeah, I think he actually doesn't even make contact with anybody. I think it's just, him punching the air that is, so powerful that it sends him flying. Because he goes, "Arabesque brick fist," and then, the guard's like, "Ah," and he twitches, and he's like, "Wait, huh?" And, he's like, "You didn't even hit me." And then everybody's like, "Oh, huh?" And then all of a sudden, he goes flying and, the impact, sends, the people nearby, knocked over too. Yeah, I think it's just, he hits the air so hard that he didn't have to make contact with I think if he, hit them, it would probably, straight up kill them, but he's like, "I'm gonna go kill everybody," but yeah, interesting. Yeah, because because we've seen what that was before, now we have an explanation for the tattoo. So it would make sense for the fish man to have that on him. Yeah. And, do you remember seeing Fishman Karate in the past? I think, it was Kyuubi from Arlong's crew, or Karubi, I don't remember what they translated to here, but yeah, I think it's Karubi. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he used Fishman Karate back in Arlong Park. Could be technique, yeah. And then we have, an update on, Mr. 3 and Buggy. So they spent, the past, however long, Luffy was in recovery, the past day or so, they've been spending the whole time making their way back up to level 2, and they use, the wax powers to hide in this, like, little hut so they can kinda keep an eye on things, not get caught. For sure. Like, just a little further, just a little further, and we'll be free. Yeah, so they'd be like yeah. Yeah, so they've been, like, sneaking around, like, for, the past 20 hours. Meanwhile, the rest of them are just, like, punching their way through everybody. Like, "Alright, now we're gonna speed run this." They're going from, like, level 6, now they're, like, level 4. Hmm, yeah, yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah. Okay, so there is this little conversation here where he's talking to the guy over the transponder snail. So, the monitor room, tells him, like, something's wrong, and then Hannibal's like, "Oh, well, this jackal headdress I'm wearing is actually," and then so yeah, it must be a backup headdress. He's yeah, you look a little different with no, that's not it. But yeah, they did notice that, Buggy and Mr. 3 are sneaking around in level 2, and they start letting the prisoners out. Which, Buggy's trying to let them out for the same reason why, like, he was using Luffy, was to essentially make his own escape. So he's kind of using them as like a distraction. But like they're being freed, and they're being told it's like I'm doing you guys a favor. I'm giving you guys freedom. And everybody's like, Captain Buggy's our savior. So everybody's like all cheering for Buggy for like getting let out. But like Buggy's just kind of using them as a distraction. That's if they get out. Oh, yeah. In case you don't know who the guy with the belly warmer is, they have a little picture of Zoro's face. So he knows his face, just not his name. For Mr. 2, he just knows Zoro's name. Yeah, and then we have this final page. So we see Ivankov take his hands and inject them into his own face. It says Imperial face growth synthesis. And if you notice in the still page spread, his head is now huge. He activated GoldenEye big head mode. Yep. Yeah. 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 Luffy is kind of leading the charge here, and without him, like, none of them would have been in this situation. So, yeah, they are just kinda, like, following his lead. So that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen throughout the series repeatedly how Luffy just has, like, this quality where people just like him and they want him to succeed. So we do see, um, some unlikely allies, but in the end, it's still like that Luffy trait where he gets people on his side. So, not everybody has this that can, take these people and convince them to essentially, fight their way through, like, Impel Down. Yeah, yeah, and we have a perfect example. Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, and we also have, like, a perfect example with him and Bon Clay. People that have, like, this bond now where they know they can trust each other, and they like, Luffy has already shown, like, what kind of person he is, and I think Bon Clay, also returned the favor in the same way. So I think, yeah, a lot of credit to both characters in the situation who most people, like, in the series would not have done the same. So it is really touching to see how things played out and how Bon Clay's determination also helped Luffy to get back on his feet, because without Bon Clay, Luffy would not have been able to recover from Magellan's poison and would not have met, Ivankov. So, like, yeah, Bon Clay, I think, also had a huge role to play in this situation. Yeah, for sure. All right. So do you have any closing thoughts for the chapter or the volume as a whole? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and things have definitely gotten, like, really chaotic, and it's been such a roller coaster, because it's been kinda, like, nonstop, like, craziness, and, like, when, like, things kinda slowed down, like, was very briefly, like, to the point where it's, like even then, it was still, like, very tense, where it's, like, Luffy, got defeated by Magellan and was in the treatment, and it's like whether or not Luffy makes it, it was like, very tense. And then of course Luffy pulls through. And since then it's been like full steam ahead. It's been like just nonstop. And it's like, okay, now we're just like crashing through and like we're just like forcing through. And it's just like Yeah, it's just so chaotic, but like in such a fun, entertaining way. So I think this is it's just like really exciting uh to see like everything play out, and bringing back all these little characters, but like having new roles. And I think it's just really fun um to see how Impel Down is shaping up. And like you said, without the typical supporting members that we have, like the Straw Hats they're absent from the story. But we're getting a new supporting cast through other characters that we're familiar with, but they aren't Luffy's typical allies. Yes, I lost you there for a minute. Okay, that's right. Like I finished what I was saying, so I'm just. Oh, so do you have more to add? Hmm. Yeah, it's wild. All right. So that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We Are Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on the YouTube. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We Are Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on our YouTube channel. At We Are Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel up to where we record the podcast. So if you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Pirate King Codex for more One Piece content. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, you can reach us at werereadingonepiece at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from listeners. So if you're enjoying the show, or if you have any suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know. Next episode, we'll be starting volume 56. Thank you. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Evan. Yeah, thanks for listening, and be sure to bring along all of your hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.